5:47 in the morning. So yeah, we'll be flying the JAR here briefly on a test flight. I'm going to attempt to go from Portland to Seattle. But I have an issue from the get-go, and that is if I look at FlightAware, when you fly from Portland to Seattle, they don't have you do a departure procedure. There's no SID suggested or filed. Typically, you just go direct to a place called Kuga. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So if I go here and I put in PDX to Seattle, right there, every flight plan that you can see is filed Kuga, Krieg, Hawks Z5. I haven't figured out yet, so we'll do it together. I haven't figured out how to put in a waypoint instead of a SID. So it's going to be interesting. All right, let's go inside. Now, I also created a mini checklist. See this mini checklist? I created that, so I'm going to see how that goes today. Pause the music for cruise. Thank you, D Handy.
Park brake off. Park brake on.
So park brake is on. And we'll go to I haven't done this yet, but what's the cat? I know what the stairs is. I know what the stairs are. Boy, it's early. So here comes the stairs. But I don't know what the cat is. Catering. Okay. And let's go ahead and turn on the ground power. And bring up the fuel truck. And the load sheet. But it's a JAR, not an Airbus. That's true. Okay, so this is a pretty short flight. I think we can land with a lot of fuel, right? So we're fine with 5.48. Let's adjust our passengers just a little bit. And I think that we're going to change the aft cargo, lower the front cargo a little bit. Just for the heck of it. Okay, inside, we'll go battery 1 and 2 on. What does that mean? It's muted for the stream, but I can still hear it. Oh, that's what it is. It was basically my SciTech panel gear down handle. So that's cool. Alright, yeah, so that was gear down SciTech panel. Learn something new every day. Alright, so batteries on. 1 and 2 are on. External power is on. Alright, so let's see. Let's turn the APU on. So APU master switch. And start. And we'll turn the bleed on. Once that gets started, then we will turn off the ground power. There's the APU starting up. Gear alarm, yeah, exactly. Airbus time, yeah, J10GB. We're learning. I learned yesterday that apparently there is a can't remember what it is. A thrust climb altitude that you can set in your McDo. But anyway, Okay, so the APU is going. I'll let the ground power be on for a little bit longer. Packs are on for the time being. We'll turn them off for engine start. I am up early. Okay, so here's a question that I had, right? So up here on the IRS alignment, this is what okay. So in one checklist, it's telling me to put it on STS. Well, we'll go ahead and do this because we know we have to do this part. How come there's no sounds now? All right, so in one checklist it says go to STS, and another person told me to go to PPOS, and then someone said I'll go ahead and go to STS, and then someone said I have to go to 1, and then I have to hit enter. Is that true? What's the procedure there? John is much pro. Much pro. No, not with this plane. So anyway, so I want to know what you guys do. Do you go to PPOS and then 1, and then do you hit enter at all, or do you do the STS and 1? You can ignore all that? Okay, because some people do that. What I want to know is why did I not hear any sounds when I clicked? I wonder if I still have sounds. Well, we'll test that with the seatbelt signs here in a moment. So ignore all that. Okay. D Handy says you do STS1 then enter at the end. Okay. All right. So Arrow. So Rush, are you saying that it's just not necessary, or what would they do in the real world if we were simulating real world? Not that maybe the sim doesn't need it, is what you're saying, or? Yeah, so I got an IRS alignment in 6 minutes. All that is controlling is what the IRS is displaying in the little display up there, so you can show wind outputs, blah, blah, but you don't need to do it. Okay. All right. Now I understand. Okay. All right, let's go down to the McDo. I call it the McDo, but is it?
The cockpit is too hot.
The cockpit is too hot. Let's turn the cockpit down. So I call it the McDo. People call it the FMC. People call it the FMS. Yeah, all that good stuff. So on the init page, we'll go KPDX/KSEA from 2. We're going to align the IRS. Our flight number today is, I guess I should do the full call sign. So DAL572. And then my cost index. I heard that you can go all the way to 100. What do you guys typically put in for your cost index? I'm going to put in 50. And then I'm going to do my 0 fuel weight and my block fuel. It's not an IRS control. There are ways to manually input the IRS position into the IRS box on the overhead panel, but something would be abnormal for you to need to do that for a regular flight. So real world ops would be just don't touch it unless you wanted to see an output like cruise winds that the IRS is calculating. Okay. All right, I'm going to put a little line next to that checklist. You put Dave D. Hendy puts it in for whatever aircraft typically uses cruise level. Oh, you put in whatever the aircraft typically uses for cruise level. So I was told that you don't put cruise level in, or actually maybe you're talking about something else. What the aircraft usually uses for CI? What do you mean? What the airline typically uses for CI? What do you mean CI? Is that CL or is that CI? Maybe you're not talking about cruise. Okay. So, cost index. Sorry, it's D. Hendy. You put in whatever the airline typically uses for cost index. Okay. So like an Aer Lingus on a domestic flight, what are you going to be using for your cost index? Don't put in the cruise till after planning. Okay. All right, so, and then one of the checklists has me put on all lights, but I don't think that's correct. So I'm going to turn on the beacon and I think that's all as we're loading up here. I think I need to change that checklist just a little bit because that line comes down. I'm just going to change that to lights. Lights. As needed. You put 50K for cruise flight level? You're funny. All right, so emergency exit. We'll go to... I won't arm the emergency exit lights, though, because I'm going to pull away the catering and fuel, etc. So let's do that first. We'll pull away the catering because they've loaded up the whiskey and peanuts. Is the jar better than the FS Labs? I don't think so. I think the FS Labs is better. Except if you want flight dynamics. And you can quote me on that. Go ahead and clip me. What do you guys think? I don't know if there's anyone in the chat that's actually flown both, except I do know a few people that have, like, and maybe D Handy has, I don't know, but CirrusMax has. Okay, so I'm going to pull away the stairs as well. Now I can arm the emergency exit lights. And next would be barrow. Alright, so let's go up here. Change that. Shut up. Alright, we'll just go standard pressure there. Okay, barrel set. Radio is on. Let's see what it does.
Park brake off.
See how long he pushes me for. Is it going to go to the line?
Park brake on.
Alright, so what Dave was saying is I can just put in a I can put in a waypoint here. D Handy 91, are you still here? So where would I put in the... I want to put in Kuga because we're not doing a SID. So I need to just scroll the window down. Now I saw the ATIS. So I clicked on Portland details. Oh, right there. I see what you're saying. All right, so I can get the details right there. What I was trying to do is, thank you, though, Kagaris, appreciate that. What I was trying to do is, if I come here and I just say request altimeter, audibly it's going to talk to me what the altimeter is.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Hey. It's funny how we're always meeting like this.
Yeah, my sleeping schedule's back to, I'm trying to get it right, so...
Yeah, it's what, 8 there?
Yeah, 8 a.m., yeah. I'll probably start streaming by the time you head off to work.
Nice. Yeah. So I was coming out of Chicago yesterday, and of course Chicago is known for no SIDs whatsoever, and I couldn't figure out how to get it to work going direct to a waypoint because there was this apparently there's a bug that if you enter the departure on the McDo and you don't put a SID in, but yet you continue, you have this discontinuity that you can't clear. Anyway, I couldn't figure it out, so I'm just trying to get to this Kuga waypoint, and there's no SID out of Portland.
So yeah, I haven't tried that myself, but what you're going to do is just put in Cougar first, where that discontinuity is. So I would put in the way I always plan is put in all of the meat and potatoes of your flight plan. So put in the exit of your departure point and the entry to your arrival point. So put in all of that data first, and then we'll come back and hopefully fix that departure stuff up for you.
So when you mean exit, you're talking Kuga.
Cougar, yeah, correct.
Okay.
And if you're planning an arrival at the other end, you know how if you're doing like the Sadie 6 Seal Beach transition or something like that, that's what you're looking for at the exit of the entry to the arrival, sorry.
Okay. So in this case, I'm going to put Cougar right here in this area rather than clicking on Portland, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so Cougar, Couga. And I'm going to make this a VOD, so keep your language in check.
I will try.
I will try. Thank you. All right, so is it going to be left SK or... Yeah, probably, huh? Okay. So it's still got the discontinuity there.
Yep, that's fine. Just
Okay.
ignore it there.
Okay. Okay, and then you said after the exit point from the departure, then what? Or do you want me to do my arrival?
Just
Or
no,
the next
just start
waypoint?
putting in the rest. So
Okay.
where are you going next from Cougar? That's
So
the
I'm
thing.
going
So
to-
ignore.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. So just ignore everything else that you're seeing on the display. We'll clean that up later. So Cougar, and then just put in the rest, the rest of your flight plan there. So Cougar, let's say you're then going to 29 Palm Springs, TMP, or any other RNAV point. Just go ahead and start putting those in.
Okay, so in this case, I'm going... It's just three-way... just Cougar, and then a place called Krieg, and then the arrival Hawk C5. That's it. So it's just 3 entries. So it's possible that the star will have a Krieg transition. I'm wondering if I should try to enter that in first, or if I should just try to type in Craig, or does it matter which way?
No, yep. So always put in the point of the arrival. So put in Cougar, those other points, all the way up to that last one for... I didn't write down what you're saying, that arrival. So you're going to go Cougar, the next point, whatever it is, the
Krieg.
next point, and then Krieg. Yep, so go ahead and just put that in.
So I'll put Krieg in now. Okay.
And you're going to put it in where it says F-plan discontinuity. You're going to put it directly under where Cougar is, but you're still going to see that discontinuity there.
Okay. And then I can go and do the Hawk Z arrival under the airport, or should I do an insert here?
Yeah, so just before you go too far ahead, so see how you still have the flight plan discontinuity between Cougar and Krieg? Go ahead and press your clear button on the bottom right-hand corner of your MCDU there, and then put that clear where the flight plan discontinuity is. So you'll clear up that gap. So you'll just condense your flight plan.
Okay. All right, so the one in between Kuga and Krieg has been removed.
Perfect. So now you just put in your next point after Krieg, or you're saying Krieg is the last point until the arrival?
Yep, last point.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so I think what we're going to try and do now is, so then before you can put in your arrival, put in the TMPY insert. So press the lower right-hand button on the display there, and what you should see is all green. So
Okay.
unless you see green in that center display, you're not going to be able to continue with the flight planning.
Okay. All green now?
Perfect. Let's do the departure first. So scroll up by pressing the down arrow on the panel.
Okay.
Sorry, just running a bit of a delay.
Yeah. It's probably about 11 seconds or more.
So let's try putting in the departure out of Portland now. So just press on the top left button next to KPDX.
Okay. Just while that delay's happening.
And press, sorry, yeah, the departure, top left corner there.
Okay. I was just looking up to see what runways they're landing on or taking off from in Portland.
Oh yeah, through my flight route.
Yeah. Well, actually, flight radar. I was looking at the live stuff, but it looks like they're going to be taking off.
Yeah, I'll just look that
I
up
hate
now as
how
well.
myflightroute.com ATIS is not open when Pilot Edge isn't open. I hate that.
Yeah, that's kind of silly. Hey?
I should ask them to open that up. All right.
Yep. All right, so now whatever runway is current, you're going to have to select. So you need to tell Airbus needs to know where the hell it is all the time. It wants to know what runway it's using. It wants to know everything. So put in whatever your departure runway is going to be. So if it's just going to be 10
Mine will be 28 left.
There, yeah. So just scroll for 28 left.
28 left. And then I got the no SID and then a list of SIDs, and we're not using a SID.
Yeah, I'll just wait. Yeah, perfect. So just press there's no SID. So if you're not doing a standard instrument departure, just press no SID.
No SID, and then I got the no trans coming up.
Yep, there's no transition because you're not doing anything.
Okay, and then temporary flight plan.
Yep, and put it in.
All right, cool. Now I can probably clear the discontinuity that's after the runway going to Kuga. So this...
I wouldn't just yet.
Okay.
So press the TMPY insert button so everything is nice and green.
Nice and green.
And I'll tell you why you're not going to clean... Oh, yeah, press the... Until we see all green, just let me see what it does here.
Hello, prop forward. Sorry, I'm ignoring chat there a little bit, guys. Got Rush here, AeroSimGaming, helping me out.
We'll just do this as a bit of a experiment. Why I'm holding off, why I'm saying don't clear that discontinuity, is what the Airbus is going to tell you now. Is that what it thinks is you want to go from exactly runway 28 left, and then you're going to go directly to Cougar. And let's say Cougar's behind 28 left. Let's say for some reason it's over to the east. Well, the problem here is you're going to have a flight plan where the aircraft's going to try and do a 180-degree turn as soon as your wheels leave the runway.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to see what's going to happen here with this flight plan discontinuity. I want to see if it's still going to give you VNAV profiling, because what you'll do is typically what you'll do here is you're going to depart runway 28 left. You're going to get an obstacle clearance height, 1,000, 2,000 feet, and then you're going to use the direct to function on your display, and then you'll send yourself to Cougar, and it'll recalculate your flight plan and do all this fancy pants stuff.
Okay.
So we're just going to leave that flight plan discontinuity there just for a second, and we'll see what the hell what it does, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
So if you want to scroll down to your arrival and go ahead and put in all of those arrivals.
All right, so I'm going to click on destination KSEA. It's going to bring up, okay, and then I'm going to land. I think I'm going to land going north. So 134, we'll go 34 left. Oh, sorry, that's the approach. Sorry, I don't want to do that. I want to do a... Oh, it's having me choose the ILS 34 left. Okay, and then the star. Okay.
Yeah, you would probably get 3-4 right, but 3-4 left will be fine. Yeah, so you've got to select the runway and then go. It's kind of different logic. With Boeing, you kind of work from the transition point to the runway. With Airbus, you start at the runway and then work backwards. So there's a little bit of different logic there, but it'll still work out okay.
Any particular reason that in some instances you see two of the same stars on the menu?
I think it's just a bug. I think it's just double reading. It's probably reading the internal data that it has, which is, like version AirRack data 1201, and it's also reading the latest data. So it's probably something like that, but I always just pick the top one. I've never had any issues.
Okay. Hey, Yassine, how you doing? I think that will happen is, all that will happen is the HDG will stay as a number and not dashed. That's okay. Yassine, you have the FS Labs, don't you? Nurgle, how you doing? Okay, so now we got ILS 34 left, Hoxie star, and then we got Vias. I'm going to just do no Via. I'm assuming.
Yeah, let me just have a quick look here. Let me pull up Sky Vector, and I'll let you know. Where are we heading to? Seattle, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just have a look so I can see where we are. Portland.
FS Labs is trash. DS Joel, I think that from a systems perspective, that's considered one of the best out there. Just in the wrong sim is all.
Okay, yeah, I see. So, yeah, what you're going to pick here is no VIA. It would be too hard for me to explain why you're not going to pick a VIA here. So let's just say we're not going to pick a VIA. All a VIA is how you connect the ILS to the approach. You know how you look at two charts, right? Like you look at the ILS chart and then you look at the approach chart, and they're two different things. Well, what the VIA is how you connect those two charts together.
Okay.
So I'm going from the Hawks 5. Okay, how am I going? How am I going as a pilot from the Hawks 5 to the ILS for 3-4 left?
Okay.
As a pilot, I need to know these things, right? So the VIA is the point that you're going to transition between those two. If you don't select anything, it's just going to pick the furthest most point of the ILS, and you're going to be fine.
Okay, so what about the transition here? Do we pick Krieg, even though we've put Krieg in manually?
Yes,
you still
always put in this. Yes, still
Okay.
put it in. So I do it like this because I had a big rant about it several months ago. Is removing data is bad. So even though you've already put Krieg in, you're going to put Krieg in again, and the computer's smart enough to know where everything needs to overlap and go in. So yeah.
Okay.
And then yep, temporary insert it into the flight plan, and then we're going to execute it.
All right, so I did insert and then another temporary insert. Okay. Now it's green, except we still have that original discontinuity that you wanted to take a look at.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now is Okay, so what we're going to do is then let's look up at your navigation display and turn your navigation display controller over to the plan stage.
Okay. All right, and I'm going to change the down to 10 mile range. Yeah, we got no plan lined out, it looks like, but I'll try to step through it and see what happens. All right, there we go. It shows a line from Kuga, but nothing from the airport to Kuga.
Perfect. Okay, in my opinion, this is what it should be showing here. In the real aircraft, you'd see a dotted white line extending from the runway direction, because what you've told the aircraft is, I want to depart runway 10 left, I think you selected, or something. So the aircraft is going to plan that we're going to fly that until you're going to tell me to go somewhere else.
Yeah, 28 left, but yeah.
28 left, sorry.
So I'll be going west, and then I can do a direct 2 in the air to Kuga, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it might break. I'm trying to think how this actually works in this plane in the JarDesign. So go back down to your MCDU, and what we're going to do is go to that first page, that initialization page. I think it's INIT, same thing as like a Boeing. And you're going to put in your flight plan altitude. And we're going to see if it's going to give you a VNAV profile or a vertical profile.
Yo, John Fly.
Yeah, the IN,
acknowledge the follower.
IT page, yeah.
Okay, Ice Trucker 21, thank you for the follow. I am going, this is a very short trip, 118 nautical miles, so I'm assuming I can probably put in, well, is this east or, is this considered east or westbound? This is...
It'd be slightly west, so I would probably only go to like 15,000, somewhere like that.
Actually, it is slightly east.
Slightly. Oh, there you go. 161.
All
Yeah,
right.
probably 161.4 would be a little low, but
Yeah, 16. So not even flight level. Okay, 160 is in.
and if it hasn't blown up yet, we might be okay.
Boy,
Okay, yeah, so
it looks like it went green.
yeah, so go to your flight plan page.
I'm going to scroll back up to the top here.
Yeah, you got some profiling there.
Yeah, I got some
Alright, well,
profiling. There's still the discontinuity, but It's got, yeah, you're right. It's got
Yeah, we're going to keep that discontinuity because I think this is going to work well for you. So
Now
you've got a flat plan.
explain to me one more time. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm just not going to engage heading. I'm just going to be in heading mode until I get to pointed to Kuga, and I would clear this discontinuity. Why can't I just fly heading mode, and then when I get ATC assigned direct Kuga, then go into managed mode? And why?
Okay, because
you explained it before, but I didn't quite grasp.
Yep, so you got it 100% right. You're going to depart, you're going to maintain heading mode. The thing is if you clear the discontinuity now, what it's going to do is it's going to draw a flight plan on your display exactly from point runway 28 left, and from that point it's going to do a right-hand turn, left-hand turn, whatever, to get you to Kuga from the runway. That's not what's going to happen, right? Because you're going to take off, you're going to fly runway heading, and you're going to get to 2,000 feet AGL flying at 180 knots. So you're going to be probably 5 to 6 nautical miles away from the point where it's actually calculated to do your turn.
Mm-hmm.
So what it's then going to try and do is try and get you back onto that path that it's planned. But that's not where you are. So we don't want it to do that. Otherwise, it's going to try and do this great big turn and get you somewhere there. You want to tell the aircraft to go direct to from the point that you are in space.
So what you're saying is there's a potential that if we take out the discontinuity, and even though we get, let's say we get 1,000 feet off on a runway heading 28 left, we go out for a minute or so, whatever, ATC clears us direct Kuga. You're saying that I can't go in and hit direct Kuga and it's not going to go turn, right and go direct Kuga?
No, so that's what I'm saying it will do.
Okay.
What you're thinking. So what you're going to do is exactly that. You're going to take off. You're not going to need to do anything else with your flight plan. You're going to get to a point. You're going to keep the aircraft on heading mode. You're going to come down to your MCDU. You're going to press direct to. In fact, if you just press the direct to button now, you'll be able to see it. It'll give you a list of all of the points, and that top point probably should be Kuga. Now, don't press anything now because it'll try and do some replanning. And so ATC's told you, okay, you've cleared, you're at 2,000 feet. ATC's gone, okay, cleared direct Kuga. Maybe you'll need to scroll up. And if not, you're going to just directly right in the waypoint. I can see you've got line.
I'm assuming that if I get rid of that discontinuity, Kuga shows up in this direct to list.
Yeah, it probably would, yeah.
But you're saying keep the discontinuity.
Yeah,
even though I'm going to fly heading mode.
Correct.
Okay. We're experimenting. Oh, okay. Cool. I still want to get rid of that discontinuity.
Yeah, I see. Actually, it's only 3 nautical miles from the runway. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to think here. If you were, say, departing Chicago, like you're saying, I've seen the departures for Chicago, and there's like 20. I'm exaggerating. There's like 20 VORs in a ring around the airport, and you seem to just get vectored to one of those VORs, and then away you go. So if you're in a position like that, I don't want to tell you something here where it's not going to work in all cases. So I'm trying to tell you something that will work in all cases. What it looks like here, though, is Kuga. It tells you there, Kuga from the runway is a bearing 334 at 3 nautical miles. So Kuga is, in fact, really, really close. It's probably
Actually,
almost...
it's not. That's the weird part. It's 33 miles from the airport. So it's calculating that top of climb as a distance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what it's done. Yeah, okay. That's weird.
But if I get rid of the discontinuity, I think everything will be kosher.
I think it will, but what I'm trying to do is tell you something that's going to work every time.
Yeah.
Because imagine that Chicago scenario where you're departing and your departure VOR is directly at 90 degrees to you.
Yeah.
So if the point is directly ahead, it's fine. You're going to have a slight turn and you're going to be back on path. But Chicago, maybe that VOR is at 90 degrees or even 120 degrees where it's slightly behind you.
So you're trying to get to fly, right after 1,000, 2,000, whatever, that you want to be engaging that AP and doing managed mode and going to the first VOR.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Where some people fly heading mode until
Yeah, and then they
yeah.
just press the manage
Yeah.
mode. Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So it's giving you an extra step on the departure there where you're going to have to go down to the MCDU and do some things. But in reality, that's what you would do in the real aircraft as well. So I think that's a better way of doing it. Rather than just going heading mode, then just going, oh, just press the button and go managed mode. That's
Yeah.
not real because the managed mode is going to try and put you back on a flight path that calculated that is
Yep.
no longer relevant to your current position of the aircraft. So, yeah.
I'm wondering if the managed mode will even work if there's a discontinuity.
It won't. No, it'll just fly headings, but you're still going to have to manually set a heading. So yeah, manage mode, it'll just kind of freak out. But in fact, you might even... What's going to happen in this departure is the aircraft is going to fly a toga departure while you've got the engines up at flex. So you're going to bring the power up to flex. It's going to fly runway heading. It's going to climb you at your V2 speed until you bring the power back to climb. When you bring the power back to climb, it's kind of going to freak out because it doesn't have a VNAV profile. So you might even need to put it onto a vertical speed profile where you're going to roll up and say, okay, I want you to climb at 2,500 foot a minute. And then you can take it all out of manual mode and just press all of the buttons and let the Airbus do the Airbus things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, I think then we're probably done with this programming for now. Yeah, happy landings. This is AeroSimGaming, or otherwise known as Rush, or Alan, or Dude, or Dancer, or
some guy with an opinion.
I grabbed him way early on, back in the early days, and said, "Hey, can you make the GSA look better?" And he accepted. Okay, so Dude. Okay. All right, I'll just continue on the checklist. So I'm going to assume that my ATC is giving me an initial altitude of 5,000, whatever. Actually, I'll simulate just up to Kuga. It'll be interesting. I'll have to look at because there's no SID to look at, you really can't predict what Pilot Edge is going to give you for your initial altitude, but they have it in their SOPs. All right, let's turn on the passenger signs.
Exit, your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you're on the exit row, that your window shade is open. Please make sure all seat back and tray tables are returned to their full upright and locked position, and all carry items have been securely stowed. Need all purses, book bags, handbags, anything on your lap to go all the way underneath that seat in front of you for takeoff. Also, please make sure all cell phones and tablets are placed into airplane mode. And if you do have the Samsung Note 7, you please power these. I mean, no one should have it. They should have taken it away from you, but if anybody does have these devices, we ask that you please power them off at this time and make sure that they are off for the duration of the flight. And get a new phone.
All right. Yeah, you guys click on AeroSimGaming, give them a follow unless you already are following. I do find, Rush, that people like come and find one of us streaming, and it's the first time they've seen any flight simulation stream. Because I'm hesitant to say, oh, yeah, follow that guy or follow this guy. Well, because you have, 4,000 followers. Josh has 4,000. Cat's 5,000, whatever. I'm hesitant sometimes to say, yeah, give this guy a follow, because most of these guys are already following the rest of you. But occasionally I find that there's people that just stumble across us, especially because of that flight simulation community that's showing up. I love it.
Yeah, well, honestly, John, the flight sim community really has started growing over even the last 6 months. Like I remember when I started streaming, and like you were getting around 30 to 40 viewers, and like Kat might get maybe 100, and Josh Gibbs would get maybe 70 to 80. But I mean, now those numbers are like we're doubling those numbers. There's more and more people filtering into this Twitch thing to watch streams. So whatever we've done, I think we have grown the community somehow, some way, and people are coming across, and with some of us getting partnered with these communities now, I think it's even getting better. But yeah, there's been definite growth in Twitch, and definitely with flight simming on Twitch as well. Like, it's happening, man.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, let's go here. Oh, that in fact that maybe you heard. I heard a rumor that the Flight Sim Con is at the registrations are larger than ever, and they were talking about changing the venue, but that's not true, is it?
I haven't heard anything like that. I think if they were going to do anything, they would just hire another conference room at the hotel, right? Like there was that area that we were drinking in last year, and I'm sure they have more than one conference room there. I think they're going to have enough time and space. It's just, yeah.
I mean, worst case scenario, you just you use the museum.
Yeah, again, apparently the museum really wasn't that impressed with it from what I heard, but I don't know. I think it was a good venue to have it there. If I was a museum, I'd definitely want a bunch of people hanging around that like airplanes, but
Yeah. I still want to do X-Plane Con in the West, or a Flight Sim Con West.
I agree.
But it was too much to take on with everything that was going on with me. But I want that to happen. I mean, an X-Plane specific would be good, but even a Flight Sim Con West would be good, because there's a lot of people that are hesitant to travel all the way across the country. But I think it's going to be a good time this year.
Yeah, I'm going to try. There's an air show up here in Gatineau, and that's the one where I'm going to try and cover it with a like roving stream. I think I might try and turn that into a little bit of a flight sim weekend where it can get the 737 simulator and do a whole thing there, and see if there's people that are interested in coming up to Ottawa. I don't know if people will, but there'll be like one of literally the biggest air show in Canada with a whole heap of warbirds and interesting planes. So I haven't started planning it just yet, but it would be like 3 days of like air show aeroplanes and like flight simming, and I'm like, yeah, that's something I would like to do. So
yeah. So is that's an annual thing then already in place? The air show, or is that kind of just
it was up? Annual, but now the company that's organizing it, they're shutting down this year. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say if it's an annual type thing, it's easy just to say, hey, we're going to do some flight simming. We may do a stream. We may do this. It's a get together, and even if it's a dozen people the first year, it may be twice as much or 3 times as much the next year. And that's what I'm thinking with X-Plane Con, is that even if it's 6 people the first year, so be it. At least maybe it'll be 8 the next year, and we'll have fun. But anyway, it's something to put on the radar. All right, I'm going to turn my, according to my checklist that I made that may be wrong, I'm going to turn my fuel pumps on. Some people just bang out the overhead all in one go, and I don't like that. Like at the very beginning, they just bang it out, and I'm like, I don't think you should be turning on your fuel pumps until you're getting closer to engine start. But some people are like just boom, 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 boom. All right, so we've already done the pushback. We're good there. Let's go ahead and do engine start. So I'm going to go, packs are off. So I got to add packs off to that checklist. And then I'm going to do... And then what's your opinion on starting
engine 2?
2 engines at the same time? Is that a bad
That's
thing?
bad news bears. Yeah, just start 1 then 2.
Okay.
I know the aircraft, the way it's modeled, is capable, but in real life it wouldn't be. There'll just be too many systems that would be going on and off and blah, blah, blah. It's just bad news bears, just 1 and 2.
Okay.
The 7.4 can handle it because it's got isolation valves and it's not all super duper auto managed, but the way Airbus manages bleed air is... Yeah, the way it manages bleed air is not the best. It doesn't have the 100% correct logic.
Okay. So at this point, I'm assuming if my N1 and my N2 are stable, then I can start number 2.
What you're looking for when you can call an engine stable is EGT is no longer moving. So once you've got a stable EGT, that's what you'll use.
Okay, so 332 in this case. All right.
Yeah,
Starting engine 1.
All right, let's just pay attention here to chat. So apparently, HCX Tempest is your best friend, Rush. Nurgle says we can blame X-Plane 11 for the community growth. I think X-Plane 11 definitely is bringing people over to test out this sim for sure. Miles ahead, I'm doing well. Solid 10 says you guys are teaching us newbies just not just flying around. I try to do a little bit of that. Sometimes engine. Oh, I forgot to set my engine flex temp. That was a bad part on me. So I'm going to set my V speeds. My flex will be 44. I've seen some people do flex 50. Alright. So the jar was smart enough to let me know that I hadn't set the flex. So clear. Alright, we're getting stable EGT. Okay, what else here? Yeah, Solid 10. Sometimes you guys learn by watching me do what you should not do. But I'm having fun and I'm growing. And if I look at the growth from my abilities 6 months ago, I think there's at least a small upward climb. Crown and Aces, this is Flight Sim. You thought it was the Mario Kart community? It does look like that at times, for sure. Lab Spy's got some footage yesterday from a 777. Posted that. Never start two events at the same time is what Ben says. I've never ever started two events. Have you ever started two events?
I've never even seen an evenses, so yeah, that's probably why.
I think it's wise though never to start two things that of those, whatever those are.
Well, I mean, the 747 can handle it. Like, there are aircraft that can handle it. It's just twin-engine aircraft, just the way that the bleed system works, the air conditioning works, and stuff like that. You can't. But yeah, the 747, you can start 1 and 2 at the same time, and yeah. But you typically will start 3, then 4, then 1 and 2 at the same time.
Okay. Prop Forward says, with regards to Flight Sim growing, I know the Flight Sim show in the UK attendance was up 30 to 40% last year. Yeah, I'm actually considering going to Cosford in 2018. I really am. I'm not just. That's not just talk. Hello, CDA 3D Live. How you doing? And also, Little Minipanda. Okay, so another question for you, Rush. Occasionally I get when I go through this checklist with the first officer in the jar, and I go through, for example, the after takeoff checklist, I think is what it is. After start checklist. He complains about the APU not being on, even though I've got engines on and the engines are generating the electricity. For some reason it still wants the APU on. Or do I turn the APU off now that I've got engines, good engine start?
Turn them on. It's probably just a sound bug. The only reason he's probably still yelling at you is maybe you have the APU bleeds still on. That's what he might be yelling at you about.
Okay.
So I would check your APU bleed switch is off. Keep the APU generator on. It's just going to be automatic anyway. But yeah, that's what I would do. And if he starts yelling at you, just ignore him.
Alright, so APU bleed off. I'm going to leave the APU master switch on, is what you're saying, just in case? And
turn the APU master off.
Oh, APU master off, okay. I'm going to go ahead and just see what this guy says here. We already did the before start. Alright, so after start, I'm going to turn my packs on before I do that checklist. Packs are coming back on, and yeah, let's see what he says here.
After start checklist. Anti-ice, as required. ECAM status, checked. Pitch trim, 0, decimal, 0, down. Rudder trim, 0. APU, it is not okay, sir. It is not set on.
So the after start checklist, he says the APU is not okay. It is not set on.
Oh, whatever.
So you think that's a...
Just ignore.
Okay. I was thinking maybe they have it during the taxi and they turn it off at the runway or something. I don't know.
Well, you could do a PAX off takeoff, like say you're performance limited, you could turn the air conditioning off, but have the air conditioning, say, running on the APU, but you're not
you know what?
performance
That's what
limited.
it is, because it may be that because the next checklist, which is, well, the next one's flight controls, but the before takeoff checklist actually has you, if you have PAX on, it says, no, you're not ready, turn PAX off for the
Yeah.
takeoff. So,
Yeah.
all right, so that's what they're
That
trying
would
to do.
probably be
They're
mine.
bridging that gap for the
Yeah.
for the air conditioning. Okay. So now I'm debating when to turn that APU off.
You've got enough residual power here, unless you're taking off from say 6,000 feet, or the temperature was say above 30 degrees, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
So really just look at your temperature. If you're above 30 degrees, then you'd think about doing a PAX off departure. This is just a rough rule of thumb. Like, I don't know, I've never flown a 320, but I've never thrown any big jets except for sims. So, but there's a rough rule of thumb. If it's above 30 degrees and you've got a heavy load, yeah, you're going to do a PAX off departure, just so you have your single engine performance. But you're in a simulator, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Nurgle says, unless the checklist is intended to be ran right after engine start and prior to APU shutdown. That could be the case. All right, the co-pilot has got to take a chill pill, Jorklin says. Good afternoon, JJ. Valdude, salute to you. All right, continuing down. The packs are on for the time being. Anti-ice not required. Auto brake. We're going to do max auto brake and brake fan. Why would you need the brake fan if you're not?
You won't.
You wouldn't?
Yeah, you won't.
That's only if you have
No.
hot brakes, right?
Yeah, correct. You just monitor your brake temperatures while you're taxiing, but yeah.
Okay. Okay, we'll go flaps.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1, and we're going to do flaps 2. All right, there we go.
Flaps 2.
2. And then, oops. I'm going to program a view here. All right, so the nose light to taxi. ND range. So in the checklist, this guy, it's amazing how these simmers come out with all these different checklists. But this guy was saying, you know, have it on arc and have it on a 10-mile range for your plan. And spoilers, arm.
Spoilers arm.
All right, well, would you arm your spoilers now or at the runway?
I would arm them now.
Park brake off.
Okay, park brake is off. And we'll taxi to 28 left. I'm going to change the sounds just a little bit here. Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa.
Park brake
We
on.
got a donation inbound. You can't take the
Kappa.
sky from me. So with the filling up the donation. Thank you so much. Do I call you OO or O underscore
Killing it.
O? Yeah, that is.
You're going to have to pick up the Chieftain now and fly my flight model when you get home tonight.
Absolutely. Now it's not available on the org yet, though, right?
No, it's not. I just picked it up from
Carenado?
Carenado.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know what? They probably make a little bit more money buying it off their store, and
Oh, absolutely. There's not that middle mark, but I love having the org. I love having the consolidated location for all of my aircraft. And boy, that Seneca took 6 weeks to show up on the org. Oh,
yeah.
I think
Well.
because it was there was a bug that they were trying to solve before it went on the org. I don't know all the reasons, but anyway. All right, can we give an O snack for that? O. Thank you for the donation. That allows me to get the Chieftain the upcoming Panthera that Catstrader was showing on stream, and also the A330 update because I bought my A330 a long time ago. Thank you so much. Thank you guys.
Park brake off.
All right, I'm gonna. The engine.
Did Kat say when he's expecting the Panthera to drop?
The quote that I got is, and I gotta turn the sim down, it's way too loud. The quote that I had was, it was imminent. And what I gathered from his, he couldn't say exactly, but I would say it's going to be within the next 2 to 3 weeks at most. That's the impression that I got, but you never know. They could have some last minute bugs they're working out or whatever, but I really liked the even though it was not fully functional, the GTN. I should have done a bigger pushback. Oh well.
Yeah, that GPS that comes stock with it. Ugh, it looks great. Like honestly, like it looks amazing.
Yeah, and I told Ty that I asked him during the stream. I said, "Is the flight plan ability on the GTN available?" And he said, and he went there and he tried it. He said it doesn't look like it is, but he said, "But I prefer the Skyview." No. Entering the flight plan on the GTN is so slick because of the exit points from the airways and it's just so nice. The Skyview, I'm not going to take away from it. It is a good unit for flight planning for sure, the Skyview, but I love that GTN. The other thing that I'll what's the word? Is postulate? What would postulate mean? I would like to throw out a hypothetical scenario.
Hypothesis is the word that you're after.
Okay, so
scientific and shiz.
Well, I'm just looking. I need the scientific word for. I'm gonna guess something that's gonna happen down the road.
Hypothesis.
I'm gonna put this out there. I'm thinking that we're gonna have an aircraft where you'll have a GTN or something like it, or you're gonna have basically a radio, like you would in a Cirrus aircraft. You're gonna have Sirius XM, but instead of Sirius XM, it's gonna be Flight Sim FM, and you're gonna be able to, as you're in cruise, tune in your favorite, podcast streamers, their audio, whatever. You'll be able to change channel and listen to people talking about flying inside the aircraft.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. You'll be able to go to the AeroSimGaming channel and listen to that while you're in cruise. And then AeroSimGaming, on a weekly basis is going to upload his latest cast.
That'd be cool. So people like Richie D Gaming could do stuff as well, like have a podcast in the air.
You could have a music channel. You could have the Pallet Edge network, where you'd have controllers or users that have a little bit of experience. You could have and it's going to go even as far as advertisements for devs. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. So mark my words, folks. If it ever comes about, I saw the writing on the wall. I should have wrote the app. Everyone here has to sign an NDA now. No, I just think it would be cool. I just want to give it delayed because I didn't hit enter. No snack to the donation from OO. Again, thank you. All right, tower's we've been told to line up and wait.
Tray tables should all be secure at this time, and all carry-on items are stowed. We'll be dimming our lights for your convenience. Find a reading lamp, an air vent, and a flight attendant call button just above your seat. Those passengers seated in 1, 2, 12, and 13 will use special little people. If
You are equipped with an inflatable seatbelt as shown in your safety information card. If you have any questions, notify a flight attendant. Our estimated flight time today is 1 hour and 57 minutes. Thanks for your attention and welcome.
I don't know why, but my nose wheel steering is working
Park
today.
brake on.
That's really bizarre. Alright, I forgot to do one checklist. I just want to do a quick flight control
Flight
checklist.
control check. Full up.
Full up,
Check. Full down.
full down,
Check. Neutral.
neutral check,
Full left.
left,
Check. Full right.
right,
Check. Neutral. Check. Press pedal disconnect push button.
pedal disconnect,
Check. Pedal full left.
left,
Check.
Pedal.
Pedal full right.
right pedal.
Check. Neutral.
Neutral.
Check. Press
Check.
pedals disconnect push button. Check. Checklist completed.
Alright, let's turn on some lights. We'll go strobe on, wing light on. Towers told us to continue to wait for some transitioning aircraft. Pattern traffic. Alright, runway turn off. Nose to takeoff. Packs will come off for takeoff. And alright, let's see what the takeoff checklist has for us.
Before takeoff checklist. Flight controls. Checked. Flight instruments. Checked. Briefing. Confirmed. Flap settings config. Flaps 2. V1. 1. 2. 9. V rotate. 1. 3. 4. V2. 1. 4. 9. Flex temperature. 4. 4. ATC. Set. ECAM memo. No blue. Checklist down to the line completed. If you're ready to continue below the line, click it again. Cabin crew advised. Engine mode selector. Set normal as where required. Packs set off. Course of APU bleed. Checklist below the line completed.
Okay, that's good. So it'd be just the after takeoff checklist. Paynex Studio says, which sim is best for start? I will give you the answer in an emote. There, I just happen to have an emote available there for you. And he says, are you offline? I think I'm still going. I did drop a few frames a bit ago, but I think I'm okay. Alright, Rush, anything else before takeoff?
Not that I know of. Just make sure you have your the aircraft isn't in managed mode. So you go ahead and right-click the heading selector, and you want to make sure you have current runway heading.
Okay, so right click. So I've got the push finger and I got the pull hand. Right click doesn't work for me, and I don't know why.
Or whatever the click is to press it until you get the
I
numbers
do
there.
believe that they added, and I'll let the menu come up here on delay for you. Acknowledge the follower. Thank you for the follow, Matt25101. They did implement, I guess, in this latest beta release, FCU manipulation style classic versus
I have
something
no
else.
idea what they are. No idea.
Comfort.
I tried understanding, and I just gave up and just left it. I don't
I wonder
know.
if Comfort does it. Yeah, right click's not doing it. But right click, you said has worked before, or?
I don't know. Just
Oh, okay.
press buttons until you see numbers.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the out of managed mode. Okay, no, it's not the finger. It's not the pull. See that? This is where I hate this thing. I can't do the finger. I can't do the pull. Do I have to hold? Do I rotate? Yeah, this is what I hate about this situation.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Maybe it won't. Oh well. It's probably just because you're on the ground and it doesn't think it, but you should be able to set a heading in there. I don't know. I'll just kick the tires, let the fires go flying, and if it pops up with something weird, it's going to be fine because it's going to have you in toga mode, which is going to be flying runway heading and flying at V2. So you're going to be fine. Just go ahead, go flying, and it'll be fine.
Okay.
Once you're in the air, then you'll be able to take it out of toga mode.
Okay, that makes sense. Camera says it's a very fine spot. But anyway. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to take the throttle all the way up to the toga or to flex?
To flex.
Okay. Let's go. Let's fly.
Park brake off.
Park brake is off. We've been cleared. I'm going to take it up to flex 44.
Power set.
Power set. Rudders are sensitive. I think it said V rotate at like 148, which is a little bit higher than normal.
100 knots. V1. Rotate.
Rotate. It rotated. It said to rotate before 148, but
Positive climb.
Yeah, you might have bugs with
You're
your
up.
sound pack. What sound pack are you running?
the BSS.
Do you install it right and delete the right things?
I thought I did. What's wrong with it? Oh, you're saying wrong things at the wrong time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're climbing out. So let's just make an assumption that we're 1,000 feet above the field. We're contacting departure here in just a moment.
Yeah, so right now, press your, you should be able to bring up your heading bug now. So go ahead and take it out of managed mode.
Okay, 288. Yep.
You're going to need gear and flaps here pretty soon.
Yeah, gears up.
Probably already got them.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Yeah, flaps are up.
Standard baro cross check. Passing flight level 0, 2, 0.
All right, so let's just assume that I've contacted departure and they're going to give me a direct Kuga now. So what you're saying is I should go to direct 2 on the McDo now?
Yep.
Okay, so come down here, we'll hit the direct, and see Kuga's not listed, so we're going to type in Kuga.
Yep.
C
And just see what happens.
U G A at the top. It's thinking about it. There we go, direct to insert. And we still have a discontinuity. But it does have a dash line. So, yo, John
Yeah, we'll see
Fly,
what you-
acknowledge the follower.
Perfect, yeah, now you can clear that disco.
Okay.
Yep, so now you'll clear the disco. Yeah, so you've got a dotted line
Oh,
on your
oops.
navigation display.
I didn't do that before, but yeah, we'll clear. It's not clearing. I think this is that bug where you can't clear that discontinuity after the runway.
Well, if it's green, who cares? So now you can just come out of manual mode and go into managed. And if it starts the turn and you start seeing a solid line, we'll just see.
Okay, yep, solid line to Kuga.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. All right, I'm just going to quickly do the after takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear up. Flaps retracted. Packs. It is not okay, sir. It is
Oh.
not on.
Packs coming on.
Packs on. Checklist down to the line completed. If you're ready to continue below the line, click it again. Baro reference. Standard Baro set.
Okay, so I want
Checklist below the line
D Handy
completed.
saying level climb now instead of flex 44. It
yeah,
is-
you
it
can
is-
bring your power lever back now.
Okay, I got thrust climb now. Do I want thrust climb or lever?
No, yeah, that's fine. No, you're still on the screen. I'm still seeing your. Yep, now you're fine.
Thrust climb's okay.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, level climbs Boeing speak, but it means the same thing.
It was flashing level climb underneath, but when I took the throttle back, it went to thrust climb. That's it. Thanks, D Handy. For Sith rocking the AeroSimGaming emotes. So for those of you who are wondering, maybe you can explain the some of the emotes, because some people ask, what does that emote mean? And I think I
Well, the
understand
mouse
about
on fire,
6
I
to
think it's pretty
7%. Yeah.
self-explanatory, right?
Yeah. I agree. That one's. It's not a video card on fire, but yeah.
The other one where I'm like flipping over, that's a we're flying the JAR A330. It was an early beta of the X-Plane 11 version, and it wasn't a problem with the aircraft. We Departed out of San Francisco, went through a flock of birds, and had a Sully moment. And we ended up in the water and doing backflips in the water because of the water physics in X-Plane are pretty bad.
Okay, now we have a little more behind the story. All right, so I just disarmed my spoilers. Packs are on. Barrel we're not going to mess with because you don't change the standard until 18,000, right? Passenger signs on at cruise. All right, I think we're...
Seatbelt signs have been put on because we're just going through some bumpy air at the moment. If you could please return to your seats now and fasten your seatbelt securely and remain seated until the signs have been switched off. Thank you.
Yeah, so I may have some bugs with my sound pack. I thought I had deleted the original sound directory in the plugin and replaced it with the Blue Star sound pack, but what's my favorite plane? Sisu 965. My favorite plane in X-Plane is the Flight Factor 757 V2. In fact, if you go down to my profile below, my Twitch profile, I actually have my top 25. Although I've not updated it for a few days, and this this Airbus A320 is quickly becoming a great plane in my eyes for me. All right, so I've got trying to locate my where my top of descent is. Okay, top of climb. Top of descent is 18 miles. Okay. Hey, Rush.
Yep.
So in my it's on delay obviously, but there's a scenery issue. Okay, so it's got the White Krieg waypoint highlighted. I'm assuming that white means that's my current waypoint, and I'm assuming that it says at the top the distance to the following or to that waypoint from the previous one, because that nautical mile doesn't change. What I'm trying to figure out is my top of descent 18 nautical miles after Krieg?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
You should be able to see that on the navigation display. If you pop up the display, you should be able to confirm that with... yeah.
So the little arrow, the little blue arrow is the top of descent?
Yeah, you'll see like an arrow kind of pointing down.
Perfect. So you're saying ILS 34 right is more common than left?
I think so, yeah. I think
Okay.
they put you there because you're closer to the terminals, but
Okay.
I don't know. It's just what they give me in Pilot Edge, so...
Okay. All right, so the top of the... I treat this like a Boeing, so I want to reset my MCP altitude to like the top of the, for example, the top of the ILS. Is that what I would do here as well?
Sorry, say that again?
So do I have to reset my MCP altitude to say 5,000 for the top of the ILS, or?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
you'll
the same
set that,
thing.
but
Okay.
yeah, except unlike a Boeing, you know, Boeing when you're in a managed state, say you've got VNav engaged and you've got flight level 240. With a Boeing, when you go through that flight level point, if your altitude is lower lower than what your current cruise is, it'll automatically start descending. The Airbus is not like that. You need to once you've put the number in, so you can lower that down to 5,000, but until you push the button, it won't command a descent.
Okay, so push the button, then it will go into like an open descent or whatever.
Correct, yeah. So in fact, now you could even press descend and it would try and recalculate the descent and stuff like that. But yeah, I would wait until you go through that descent profile and then you just press the button.
And then press the button. Okay.
Yeah.
Not pull, but press. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you being here.
Ah, no problems.
What's on the... Yo, John Fly. What's on...
Acknowledge the follower.
Oh, we got a follower. OOT... Let's see. Toog with the follow. And JC7LG with the follow. Thank you. What's on the stream agenda for today, AeroSimGaming?
I'm going to take the Chieftain out and the flight model with that. I'm probably going to hack around Pilot Edge a bit in that. I'm currently trying to throw together a flight model for this 737-800 that someone's made. So I'm going to check that out. And,
Someone made a 737-800?
Well, you know the stock X-Plane
the
11?
default one, yeah.
Yeah, someone's made a mod for it that gives you full VNAV profiling and all these other things.
Oh.
It kind of looks like it's just used like Max Waldorf's
XFMC?
XFMC.
Okay.
But apparently it's added a whole heap of extra functions and stuff like that. So
Wow.
I don't know. I'm gonna. But apparently the flight model was still a little bit poo. So I'm just putting together some airfoils and stuff like that, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it because it's the 737. But I'll add that and then I'll send it to him so he can put it into his next update.
Nice.
But yeah, it doesn't seem to be bad for a free aeroplane. Well, free quote unquote comes with X-Plane 11. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think that this plan is correct. I don't think it calculated my top of descent correctly because we're actually really close to the initial approach fix, and we're supposed to be at 5,000 for that.
No, I think you'll be okay. That's the Hawks point, right?
Yeah, we're coming up to the Hawks point. All right, so we're coming up to our top of descent. So I guess I can just click on the new altitude.
Wait until you go past it, I would say, but it doesn't. No, yeah, you're fine. So I'm trying to look.
So
as far
thrust
ahead.
idle, and it's saying descent DES. It's not saying open descent or anything, but okay.
Yeah,
Cool,
so it's
cool.
on profile.
Nice.
Sonder. No, yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
So the arrival, you don't need to be at 5,000 feet until your altitude restraints is HIPRO. So I can't even see HIPRO on your navigation display yet. So you've got
Okay.
Hawks, line,
It's
foot.
past Sonder. Okay. Yep. Sorry, I interrupted you there. Okay, so do I need to do the perf page, like phase to approach?
We need more drag, sir.
Yeah, I'll bring it up now, but you wouldn't turn it onto approach mode just yet.
Oops.
Just keep an eye on your airspeed there. You might get an autopilot disconnect.
It wants me to put in some drag. So do I put half
Yeah.
or full spoilers?
Half really doesn't do anything, so I'll put in full.
Full.
Spoilers full.
Okay. I'm sorry, I missed what you said. Should I go into approach phase on the McDo or?
Just pull the page up, but you're not going to turn it into approach phase. I wouldn't put it into approach phase until you're below, say, 10,000 feet, and
Okay.
just use that as your rough rule of thumb. Get
Okay.
below 10, then go to approach phase.
Okay, so it's got the descent page up now. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put some lights on just because. Get ahead of the game. Let traffic know we're here. It'd be fantastic if they updated the cockpit 3D, and I think this cockpit actually looks pretty good. What do you want them to update, Forsyth? Ciso prefers the A350. I've never flown the A350, and the fact is that I've never seen anyone even stream the A350, so that says to me that it's not ready for John Flight prime time. What version of the A320 is this? This is winglets look different. Yeah, this is the JarDesign A320. This is a brand new version 3 beta 3. And unfortunately, Johnfly is not going to probably be able to do the landing on stream because of time constraints. So are you going to be going live here in the next little while, Rush? Or
Yeah. Yeah. Just get it set up and turn it on to auto land and just let it do its thing. Like.
And then go and then go shower.
Yeah. And Airbus call these are whoever was asking that in chat. These are new winglets. Airbus buzzword for them is they're calling them sharklets, but they're a modern redesign of their old wingtips. An interesting note is a lot of people misname the older tip design on the Airbuses, where they call them winglets, but they're actually called wingtip fences. These are actually winglets. What you're seeing on that aircraft there, the older design were actually technically called wingtip fences. So they've redesigned and saved a little bit more fuel going to the winglet type, which is what Boeing had on their 737s for a long time.
So Forsyth, is it Forsyth or Forsyth? Forsyth, I don't even know. You're saying that the redo the switches on the overhead panel like in a better 3D model. That yeah, because I can see what you're saying there. Dave Hendy, D Hendy says I have streamed it. You wouldn't like it. I'm the 350. Yeah. Evil Nando. I didn't catch the A350 stream from Catstrader, so when I say nobody's streamed it, I mean I haven't watched someone stream it, and I watch pretty much everyone's stream. So when did Catstrader do his A350? Doesn't approach mode also activate automatically when you pass the purple dot? Camero's asking the approach phase may automatically update. The 350 is nice, Steve says, but not just complete. Okay. All right, we're at 7,700. All right, I do have to get out of here, so I don't know if I'd like to throw you the host here, Rush, but I don't know if you're up and running in the near.
I could fire it up, I guess.
If you want the host, I'll gladly throw it over your way. If not, I'll just host someone in the meantime, and you can.
Yeah,
but
I'm
I'm gonna be tuning into you for sure. I'm gonna have. In fact, I love how I can put you on the iPhone, and then on my way to when I'm driving around, you're on my Bluetooth, so you're like high def stereo. It's great.
Nice.
Especially when the kids and the wife are not in the car. I can have AeroSimGaming loud. But 86 viewers at 7:23 a.m. in the morning Mountain Time. Thank you. All right, what do I need to do here? All right, I'm going to go ahead and go into perf page. Oh, it did. It changed it automatically. So I could put in the baro and the temp if I want it to be all fancy dancy. Seatbelt signs are on. We got 5,000 at Hipro. I guess I can can I turn on the LOC? The LOC button?
Let me see how far out. Yeah, no, not yet. You're still ages out.
But wouldn't LOC just intercept it? Because I'm coming. Hipro is like in just a few miles, 5 miles to the lightning bolt. So
let me pull up.
Oh, it's turning anyway. Never mind.
Yeah, so I wouldn't press LOC until when you've got the ILS button displaying on your primary flight display. You wouldn't press LOC until you can confirm you're picking up the LOC. So what do we got there? You're going from Sondra to Jotster. Let me help you out here. And you're landing 3-4 left, yeah?
Yes.
Jotster, you need to be above 4. Yeah, so you're going to want to bring your altitude down now to 4,000 feet. And you're going to want to go into approach mode now.
It automatically went into approach mode, which is interesting.
Yeah, but have you got your VREF speed and all sorts of things like that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So approach mode, it wants the QNH and temp, but in the winds, but it's got, yeah, so V speed 142 or yeah 176,198, yeah. Okay.
You can put in all that data if you just look up just a little bit from that little display there. Things are going to start happening real quick soon. So yeah, technically you shouldn't go to approach mode until Jalon. There, yeah. So that's
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, don't hit the approach button until Jalon is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Okay.
And you probably want to come out of manage descent and go into a managed speed now. So I would bring your speed mode there out of the dash and bring it into a commanded speed and set a commanded speed of 200 knots and start thinking about...
okay, 200, 198. Probably
yeah,
go
at
flaps.
Jotza, you'd probably want to start thinking about flaps 1.
Yeah, I got flaps 1 now. Sorry, I went a little early.
Okay, so now see how, if you look at your primary flight display, see how your little purple diamond in the bottom is 1 dot deflection from the center point?
Yep.
Now is when you would engage loc, because you can confirm I'm actually picking up the localizer of the airport.
Okay. So the pink diamonds are not a good indicator that we're picking up the loc.
No.
Okay.
Technically they should go solid once you've got a proper, once you're within certain range, but they don't go solid. In the Boeings they will. But yeah, so you can go into loc mode now and it'll start following the localizer.
Happy Landings is going to bed. Good night, Happy Landings. Hello, Al.
Very good. You also just picked up the glide slope, so check that the glide slope is now alive and you're less than 1 dot deflection, so you can now press that approach mode. And it just picked it up there really, really quickly. It didn't have a gradual thing, so you can go straight into approach mode and start thinking about landing the aeroplane now.
Okay, so at what point do I go? I'm going to go down to 180 knots now. Is that a good?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So I use the 180 knots as a flaps 2, sort of 180 knots, flaps 2, and at that point there you can throw your gear out and everything. So it's a good speed to have set up.
So gear would go out now, about
no, I bring
no.
gear. I bring gear at 2,500 feet. So when you make the call radio altimeter alive, then you'll go gear down.
Okay.
So 180 knots, flaps 2, maintain that until you get radio altimeter. And then you'll go gear down.
All right, flaps 2. And then, again, 180 is okay until that point, or?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Okay.
It just keeps your speed up so you're not slowing everyone down behind you and stuff like that.
Okay. All right, and unfortunately, I am behind schedule. I've actually have to pause this. Ah. All right, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to probably come back and land if I have a few minutes, but I got to go get ready. Part 2 coming up later on.